ladies. This is going to be an awesome Saturday, and hello to our audience members. Some of you may be very new to us, very new to the Fitness Doctor, the Full Body Fix. You might be new to all of those things. If you're new to all of those things, you are at a show called the Full Body Fix Coaching Show. What we do here is we bring world-class experts to talk about different subjects of health and or fitness that ultimately makes you have the best quality of life you possibly can. The people that we really focus on helping are typically around the age of 50 and over. We do have clients that are under that, but that is really our focal area because I personally believe, and I'm personally vested in helping those who want to be fit after 50, because you've worked your whole life and now you want to continue enjoying a body and being optimally functional so you can get the most out of that second half of your life. And that is something that's so very, very important to me. And I find that so much more interesting than just building big biceps or developing levels of fitness that most teenagers and 20-year-olds would find more interesting, right? So that's really the big difference of us. And thank you for joining the Full Body Fix Coaching Show. Today's show is going to be heavily focused on mental fitness, okay? Mental fitness. Now, those of you who have been with us for a little while, either as a client or on our coaching show, or as a VIP or on our coaching show, you know that, breathing through your nose will optimize your health more than breathing through your mouth. You know about how to optimize your sleep. You know about body mechanics. You know about nutrition and my strategies for that. You know about so much stuff. But there's actually something that's even more important than any of that. The most important thing for you is this. It's what's upstairs, right? And you've lived in a body long enough that I think you've probably figured that out by now. So our goal today is to help you with a unique strategy of how to analyze your mindset around fitness. Now, today we're going to use the subject of exercise, but the strategy and methodology I give you for analyzing your mindset, you can use for nutrition, you can use for improving your sleep, you can improve for that you want to read more books, you could use it for anything. You'll get the point once we've gone through the process, but we're going to focus on exercise today. All right. So it doesn't matter. You could have the best plan in the world. You could have my team training you and developing all kinds of protocols, and you could be connected with our orthopedic specialists and our nutritionists and our physiologists and still not get that great of results if you don't show up, if you don't follow through, if you don't really actually use the plan. So the plan is only worth what you can actually implement. So what I like to compare is a fitness process to bowling. Yes, bowling of all things, kind of crazy, right? Why bowling? Well, if you think about it, when you bowl, to get a perfect 300, you're going to have to roll that ball straight down the middle, hit the middle pin, knock down all the pins. That's every time you bowl, that's going to give you a 300. So that would be kind of like, let's look at that as being a world-class athlete. You live, sleep, breathe, eat. Everything is about your fitness in your life. That would be like a 300, right? But do you need that to have amazing health over the age of 50? Do you need that? You do not. In fact, the best health researchers and scientists show us that if you just have a very consistent, moderate level of exercise, you are going to get the majority of the health benefits from fitness. So you don't actually have to push yourself that hard, right? So taking back to bowling, it's not actually that hard. Just a little bit of strategies and techniques and a little bit of practice, and you could win in most friend circles on Saturday night in bowling. Okay, but again, to hit that 300, it's a lot harder. So it's not that hard to really be awesome at this fitness game. Kind of see how I'm relating bowling to fitness. Okay, but there's this thing on the side called the gutter. And if you get into the gutter, then what happens? You get 0 points. You get zero fitness. Now that would be synonymous or equate with kind of having the mind not following. You want to exercise. I mean, by this point in your life, how many times have been things you want to do? You want to exercise, you want to do nutrition, improve your nutrition, read more books, or whatever your goals have been. And sometimes it's just hard to get yourself to follow through with it. And it's kind of like, why? What is standing in my way? And you keep kind of going after it and it doesn't really happen. And so that would be the gutter. So what I want to do is give you a process for thinking about how can we analyze our mindset and really know what it is that's either propelling us forward or is holding us back. And that's what I call the mental dialogue inventory. Yes, mental dialogue inventory. So all the dialogue that goes on in your head all day, of course, unless you're like me, most of it's probably not about fitness, but some of it is about fitness. And so, but we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. That's over 2,500 thoughts that we have per hour. That's a lot of stuff going on in our head. And if it's not aligned and straight with what we want to do, then it's going to be very hard to take fitness actions. And when you get your mental game right, then you're going to make amazing strides. I need you to get a piece of paper. Ideally, you would have like an 8.5 by 11. And what I want you to do is I'm going to tell you ahead of time so I get perfect clarity for you. We're going to divide the boxes in, okay, how would you be looking at it? So this is your left side. Okay. So you want to have the paper. We're going to divide it into 4 sections. There's going to be a category in the top left, a category in the bottom left, a category in the top right, and then the bottom right. Okay. So that's what we're going to have. And I'll guide you through this process in a moment. Okay. Go ahead and share the slide, Patricia. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. You see the iceberg and all the things that are actually affecting your subconscious mind. Again, many of you have probably heard this example before, but I'm going to take you several steps deeper than just looking at the iceberg and saying everything below the top of the water, that's your subconscious mind. That's your emotions. And with those 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, we're attaching emotions to many of those thoughts. And it's really those emotions and how strong those emotions are attached to the thought that actually is the driver that propels you forward or pulls you back and makes it very, very easy to accomplish something, or very difficult, or somewhere in between, depending on how you're attaching emotions. So that's all the stuff below the water, all those many thoughts, all those emotions. But how can we kind of if we could open our head and really just look at all those thoughts and break it down and say, well, what are the drivers? What's holding us back? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yes, and that's what we're going to do next. So go ahead and next slide, Patricia. So what you want to do is on the top of your paper, so straight across the top, you're going to write mental dialogue inventory of exercise. Go back a slide, Patricia. Yeah, mental dialogue inventory 4. Got the preposition messed up there, but that's okay. So mental dialogue inventory for exercising. Okay, next slide. Okay, on the top left of your paper, so you know how we did the 4 boxes, top left, on that top left as like a heading, you're going to write pain of not exercising. Pain of not exercising. Write that on the top left. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go through 4 different categories. I'm going to give you 2 minutes each for each category to fill in these sections. And what I want you to do is this. On pain of not exercising, I want you to think about all of the pains that you might get. And some of you, your list might be really small, and that's okay. Some might be really long, and that's part of the process, okay? So, and it's okay. Some might get stumped on certain of these categories, but I guarantee you some of the categories will be robust. So pain of not, think of all the reasons. Go ahead and start the timer, Patricia. So pain of not exercising. Think of all the things that create pain of not, if you don't exercise, right? So like for me personally, if I don't exercise, I'm the leader of the fitness doctor. So I'm totally incongruent with my life and being a leader of fitness. It makes me feel totally out of integrity, right? That would be an example. So for your next category, okay, so we're done with pain of not exercising. Now we're going on to pleasure of exercising. So now I want you to think about all the pleasures that come from exercising. It could be during, it could be you love the feeling of exercise. You might hate that feeling of exercise, right? That's okay too. We're going to help you optimize that. But what is the pleasure of exercise? It might be afterward. You might love it when you're done, this type of thing. I don't want to give you the answers, but no right or wrong answer. Go ahead and put the timer on the screen, Patricia. So now you're going to write, actually make sure you write pleasure of exercising. So that's bottom left. So in the bottom left of your screen, you're going to write pleasure of exercising. Again, very important. It's in the bottom left corner of the square that we created, pleasure of exercising. Next category, this category is going to be the upper right quadrant. And it's pain of exercising. So in the upper right quadrant, what is the pain of exercising? Again, it's your answers, no right or wrong. It could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be whatever comes to your mind, right? Let's go ahead and put the timer on the screen. Again, upper right quadrant, pain of exercising. No right or wrong answers. So here's the interesting thing. Right before we go on to the next block, this is the thing. If you think about pain and pleasure, we always think about pain of like, I'm moving away from pain and I'm going towards pleasure, right? And that's kind of true, but it's more than just moving away from pain and going towards pleasure. There's like 4 quadrants. It's not just moving away and going towards. There's things that are on your moving towards side, which we'll talk about, and there's things on your moving away from side. We'll get more into that in a moment. All right, go ahead and share the screen again, Patricia. And pleasure of not exercising, right? So for example, a lot of my business people are like, yeah, I like to skip exercise because then I feel like I'm getting more work done. And then my business, or I feel like I'm progressing. So I don't want to exercise. I want to get the pleasure of getting more work done. So I feel that if I skip it, I get more work done, right? I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's going to move you forward. It is what it is. It's in your mind. No judgment here. Okay. So go ahead and put the timer on the screen. What is your pleasures? Do you have any? Maybe I have a lot of not exercising. What is your pleasure of not exercising? So would have completed this. This is how your page would look, but with all of your information filled in each category. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the next screen. So congratulations. You achieved an awesome, huge first step for analyzing your mindset around, in this case, it's exercise, right? Let's go back this slide. So around exercise. So we're looking at your mental dialogue inventory of exercising. On the green side, the pain of not exercising, right? These are the things, if you don't do it, you're going to have some type of pain because you didn't do the exercise, right? And then of course below, pleasure. What is the pleasure you get from exercising? Now, here's the way we look at this, right? Now we need to measure. Now let's measure our inventory. And then on the right side, the pain of exercising is, so if you find like, exercise is painful, I don't like it, takes a lot of time, I'm not really connected with it. And if you find a lot of pleasure of not exercising, you're probably not going to exercise. It's going to be something that you struggle with, right? And it's simply, this is your key. Like when this gets adjusted, you will exercise so much easier. And maybe you already have an awesome pattern of exercise, so this doesn't, and in that case, it's cool to see why are you so motivated to exercise, right? Now, again, this can be mental dialogue inventory of eating healthy every day, of going to bed early, reading more books, whatever it might be, right? You can add in your things that are important to you, but we're going to stay on the topic of exercise. So what typically and almost always happens is when the pain of not exercising and the pleasure of exercising is more robust, deeper language of emotion, that you look at it and you connect with it more, that's why it's green. It's you're moving towards side. You're moving towards those actions. And on the right side, it's you're moving away from that activity. Okay. And Nancy, could you share what you just shared in chat, just really briefly, because I think it'd be a great time to just have a personal share of how you found this to be effective.
So I happened upon this mental dialogue inventory. Here's my filled out sheet with notes all over the place. 2 months ago today, because I dated it. And when I am a certified mindfulness teacher, and this is an incredible mindfulness exercise because we don't know what's hijacking us unless we start paying attention and become aware of that. And lots of things hijack me, that's for sure. So I completed this. I left it on my desk. I looked at it all throughout the day. Whenever I was exhausted and didn't feel like exercising or didn't have time, too busy, my mind would start hijacking me. And because I had this on my desk, I would be able to look at it And after a while, I didn't even have to look at it. I just remembered that it was there and start saying, oh yeah, these are thoughts, just purely thoughts that are hijacking me. And here are the benefits of exercising. And here are, all the pros and cons. And my mind stopped fighting itself. And as a result, I kept with the VIP program, and I am so grateful I did. Everything is changing in my life. The way I sit, the way I organize my schedule, the way I walk and run, even getting out of my chair. I was turning into my mother. I was getting out of my chair and I would stand up and I'd have to ache and creak and straighten out my legs. And now all of a sudden I'm noticing that's not there anymore. I get up out of the chair and I'm great. And I'm 63 years old and I am so excited. It's made me really excited for my future instead of dreading health issues. And these guys work with me. And no, I'm not a paid advertisement, by the way.
No,
I had no idea
even
he was
though,
going to call on me.
even though she sounds like one, in fact, Nancy is a VIP of ours. She is a client, a VIP of ours, a part of our what I call our VIP family. But she's not paid, even though right now it sounds like it. And I put her on the spot actually to do this because of what's in the chat. So yeah.
But I am so pleased with this mental dialogue inventory and how it has made a difference. I actually have a little task on my Outlook calendar saying, look at the mental dialogue inventory once a week. And so I have a constant review of this inventory. But these guys take care of me when I have an issue. They come back to me and they work with me one-on-one constantly, whether that's with technology or with my joint issues or whatever. It's actually quite amazing. And I signed up for a year program because I knew that my thoughts would tell me to give up and quit. And that wouldn't allow me to quit. Even though you have a money back guarantee, I knew I wouldn't do that. And so I'm just pleased as punch and love this program and love Robbie and Patricia and all the other people I've met. It's just amazing.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for sharing. So there's a testimony that and I was just looking to share how the mental inventory worked, but thank you for sharing everything else. Of course, that's greatly valued as well. And so the mental inventory is very helpful. All right, so let's go forward. All right, so the first thing you need to do is what you've already done. So again, congratulations to you. And that's to become super aware of what's actually going on inside your head from a subconscious emotional level, how you're connecting with the moving towards categories, which again are on the green side, right? On the green side, Patricia, go back to the slides just so I can reference an image for talking points. So again, remember the green side, pain of not exercising. So if you have if it's really painful, like for me, if I skip exercise for more than 2 days, it's like I'm not the same person, right? So, and then pleasure of exercising I find it very pleasurable. As long as some of that super high intensity stuff, it's not so much. I like to do it occasionally. It makes you feel pretty awesome afterward. But the pleasure of exercising can be quite amazing, especially if you're exercising in a right intensity matched to your physiology. And obviously on the right side, if it's painful to exercise, again, I'm repeating myself, but it's because it's so important. Pain of exercising, if it's painful to exercise and you have found pleasure of not doing it, you're not going to do it. So what do you do about that? Well, first thing you want to do, you can remove the slide for the moment, Patricia. So first thing you want to do is realize this cold, hard fact of this. Exercise, specifically exercise and being physically active, okay, we're all predisposed to disease states in our genes. Our genes have coding to go into disease states. One of the things that makes it hypersensitive, and it's like, well, which gene state? Well, I don't know. It depends. We have lots of humans and lots of variations. And that's kind of, scientists are getting better at figuring that kind of stuff out. But really, we know very, very little. But what I can tell you and what is proven is not exercising makes your cells hypersensitive to reacting and having genetic manifestations of changing into gene disease states, okay, going into disease states. And so it makes the cells hypersensitive to that. And it's not that the exercise, not doing the exercise, actually, it can cause some of that, but it makes it sensitive for other toxins and pollutions and not sleeping well and nutrition and everything else to then trigger more easily and cause an issue. And the opposite is also true. If you're physically active, every time you do even a couple sets, you're contracting and working the muscles and being metabolically active, the tissues and the cells specifically are actually signaling anti-cancer structures. I'm going to keep the language simple. Anti-cancer structures that go out and kill cancer cells and then tell all the other cells in the body, hey, we're active. We need to be alive. Let's live. Let's draw in more oxygen. Let's process more. Let's give this human that we live in more energy and better feeling. Like that literally happens every time you exercise, as long as it's not totally overdone, right? And so that is crucial. And hopefully that message that I just shared with you about being hypersensitive to disease states, if you don't exercise, and vice versa, if you do, you get these amazing health benefits, that should at least help increase some of your columns. So the next thing you want to do is, just by being totally aware of this, what you want to do is you really, our minds can only think of like one thought at a time. And sometimes psychology show a little bit of cluster of thoughts, but basically one thought. So look at that and think about, well, what do I need to focus on more? Because there's certain areas in the moving towards category that you're like, I could think about that. It's true. I don't think about that one that much, but I could. It's actually really interesting to me, and that would drive me forward, so you can do that. And then on the other side, the red side, where it's not moving, let's go back to the image, Patricia, the last slide we had. So the pain of exercising, like, why is it painful if you have stuff there? Maybe you're exercising too intensely. Maybe, one of the huge mistakes that people make is you go out and like, okay, I'm going to get fit. Like, okay, so, you go to complete exhaustion and fatigue, or going to get fit in a week. That's a horrible idea that doesn't work. But what does work is optimize your mindset for this. And here's a really awesome thing to know. If you're having pain of exercising, pain in your body, we can help you with the pain in your body. But also just in terms of intensity levels and whether you like it or not, that type of thing. Two things. One is, you should do exercise you love. That's the most important thing, is just to be physically active. I'd love to have you as a VIP client, go through our whole biomechanical optimization system. But the reality is, and the truth of the matter is if you just pick an activity that you love and you do physical activity, it's going to give you the majority of your results. Okay. And so, and again, if your body's not used to exercising, or not used to exercising a lot, or just depending on where you're at, all you need to do is 10% more. That's it. 10% more than what you're used to, like on a week by week basis. And sometimes you need to back off 10% more, not 100% more, just 10% more. Right. So that should greatly decrease the pain of exercising. And, pleasure of not exercising. A lot of times those are other things in life that allow you to do, maybe you're focusing your time on something else. But hey, if you're unfit, creating disease states and stuff, you kind of have to weigh that. And now you have the ability to kind of look at that and figure that out. And the part that let's go ahead and remove the image from the screen. The part that I love the most and I find most beneficial in our VIP program, and I didn't figure this out until I launched the VIP system, is actually our VIPs. Our VIPs end up providing more energy and value and fuel to our system than we do, because they're absolutely amazing human beings, and the way they come together and connect with each other and drive each other forward, I feel is actually even more powerful than us. And our group is actually absolutely amazing. So what I like to do now is open up to some of our VIPs and have some discussion about what they found within their mental dialogue inventory, because listening to other people, you will find similarities. It will motivate you. You can listen and attach, and it'll motivate you, or you might feel like, oh, I'm happy I don't struggle with that one. Or, there's a million different ways to look at it, but it will always motivate you. And that's really what this is about, is coming together with our collective universal energy and all going forward, because everybody in this meeting right now, we all have a common goal. Otherwise, you wouldn't have showed up to this session with me. Okay. So what I'm looking now is to have an awesome, fun, caring, loving conversation and talk about your mental dialogue inventory. And we can go into different coaching and people can share. So that's the direction we're going in now. My VIPs who want to participate, you can raise your hand. I already have two who have their hand raised. Carla, let's start with you.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to say at first I had more pleasure of not exercising, but Robbie changed me around and I worked with that dialogue very heavily to move more to pleasure of exercising and putting more into that bucket and refocusing my mental energy for the pleasure and looking for pleasure. And Robbie held me accountable, so I had better find that pleasure fast, but it really did work because I found as growing up, I was never taught to exercise. So I had dread in exercising, but it was flipping that mental dialogue to pleasure and finding things to be grateful for that Robbie switched me around. And so now I'm so much better. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Carla. Yeah. A few months back, we went through a small group session of this, and that was so powerful. I love that session. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you for sharing, Carla.
Yeah.
And Karen, you're up with us next. Hello.
Yeah, I have to say, first of all, Nancy did such a fabulous job of expressing the joy that we're each feeling because we're being coached in such a heartfelt way that it makes it a joy to come, and the rest of the VIPs, it makes it a joy to participate. And it's a good thing that the pleasure side has been so strong, because doing this exercise today, I found some real big items that are in my way that I can now shovel out of the way. You'll find this interesting, Robbie, that I overdid it a little bit with the exercise bands, and so I've been having to go a little easier on my shoulder areas. But what came up for me today is that when I was growing up as a female, it was not okay to be strong with my upper muscles. When the time period when I was growing up, women weren't supposed to be strong in their arms, and the guys would look at me because I could do lots of sit-ups. In fact, I did 300 sit-ups, and it's like, and I was physically active, but boy, if, starting to work on my upper arms, I got this piercing look from one of the most popular guys in our class, like, you better not be doing those, you better not be doing that. And it was like, I shriveled, it's like, and it stopped me from wanting to develop my upper body. And it's like, that came out today. And that's like, oh, look at that. And then, so there was this fear of displeasing the guys because I wasn't feminine enough. And so it's like, to heck with that. I want some strong muscles on top. So thank you. This was a really powerful exercise today, Robbie. I really appreciate it. And again, it's been going through the program that has kept it on the pleasure side of things and moving towards exercise. So I could actually, despite this in my background, could still get to where I am now. And I'm looking forward to even going further. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to helping you grow those guns. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Women are strong. I'd say they're even stronger than men, really. So, yeah, I think our creator created a little more upper body strength with man. It's kind of a fact, but women are absolutely strong. All the power in the world to women. They should be strong, especially, around the age of 50 and over, because of bone density. And if you're not strong and you're losing strength, right, then you start to lose bone density because the muscle is what pulls on the bone. And if it doesn't have enough stimulus, then the bone starts weakening. So it's really, really important for health and appearance, right? Everything. It's so important. So all the power to you, Karen, to grow more muscle, and all the power to women based on what you just shared. Because yeah, that should be upheld. I think that's a really important thing. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Randa, hello, you're up next.
Hi. Oh, I love what's been said already, and I absolutely feel the same way. Except that I'm a person who's always hated exercise and avoided it. I was never athletic in school. I was a real snob about it, and because I never felt I was good at it. And the only thing I've ever really enjoyed was when I became sort of an obsessive salsa dancer for a very long time, and went to clubs every night of the week and danced till 3 a.m. and felt great. But I started having real balance issues, and that sort of ended that, because if I twirled and fell on the dance floor, it was just too horrible. So I missed that terribly in my life. And what that had also was a feeling of community. That we all knew which club we'd be at on Thursday night, and everybody would be there. And this was when I lived in Los Angeles, and I missed that too. So I think this is one of the first times I've ever really felt that I would stay with an exercise program, other than, you know, somebody coming to my house and sort of beating me over the head and making me do it. There is, along with all the incredible generosity of knowledge that comes from Robbie and his whole team, there is also this wonderful feeling of community that everybody has referred to a little bit. And that, I think there's a feeling that if I quit, because what Nancy said about quitting, I knew if I didn't sign up for the whole year, I would probably quit too, not knowing what was coming. And it's not just the exercise, which has, you know, a million benefits to it that I could describe, but there's also this feeling of sharing of the questions that we ask, and getting to know the sort of personalities and points of view of the other people, and what body issues they have, and the sharing of all of that, the openness of all of that, and the wonderful generosity of everybody wanting to know and wanting to share, and all the different ways we look at things, you know, like some people who focus on order, and some people who focus on, you know, an abstraction, and it's fascinating, and
Yeah.
and very, very supportive. If I had filled this out, which somehow I never did, I think, I would have answered all these questions so differently if I had filled them out. I would have had a long list in the pain of exercising column. And today I sort of struggled with finding things, you know, like confrontation with yourself, you know, confrontation with your age. What things are you in denial about that you should wake up about? All of that seems so much easier to me now. And the pleasure of exercising I can't imagine I ever would have written as much as I did today. You know, the not only the real sort of connection with finding the parts of your body that are really good and strong and flexible, and then really facing the parts that aren't, and with a positive program of how to work on those parts, specifically how Robbie hones in on all the different parts of the body. And I love learning that. I love the learning aspect that's included here, and learning about your joints and muscles. And anyway, I've said enough, but I can't believe that I'm saying I really am enjoying it. And I do sort of look forward every day because I still, yeah, I mean, I see people who recognize that feeling. But I'm getting hooked in a way that I didn't think I could, and I'm other than dancing. So I'm really so grateful. So thank you, Robbie. and your
Yeah.
gang, Patricia.
And I'm grateful to you, Randa, and for the love and connection you bring to the group. It's very important to us as well. So thank you for sharing. And up next, we have our VIP, Dina. Dina is an amazing VIP also. I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to share with us. Oh, is she with us? She just dropped from my screen. Do you see her, Patricia?
Yes, it's
Oh, okay.
on the third row.
Can you see my hand?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Zoom's playing tricks on me here. Okay. All right.
Hi.
There we are. Hi, Dina. Hello.
Hello. Wow. I don't know that I can follow everybody because everybody said all the things that I feel. But I mean, I think number one is the community makes this so motivating for me to know, well, one, the accountability. So I know the time, the place, what we're going to do. My setup is all easy. You've made it easy to do a program that isn't so easy, but it's very, very motivating. So the group has made it. I've made some friends out of the group. Like we communicate offline, and certainly getting to meet, and actually get to see and touch each other and hug each other when we got to meet. I know that, Robbie and Patricia, that was like the thrill of a lifetime. So let's just say that actually sealed the deal, like the real people to get to meet each other. So that's a whole nother side. I think this has just changed my identity in a lot of ways in myself. I'm building a practice. I got here through functional medicine and through the group that I'm with and a group of mentors who I admire and love so much. But building my practice, I was also building my identity. And I think this has just really sealed the deal of who I am. I've always been very interested in longevity and making, building the best life and the optimal life and health that we can. And here I am doing that for myself and with Robbie's help and with the group's help, just recognizing that, I'm doing this for a lifetime. This is like forever after program. This isn't a like sign up for the year. This is a forever after program for me. So what I've learned about myself is that, I've always been an athlete in the past. I guess, I played sports all through high school and college. And, but I didn't know really how to be fit. I over exercised. My mantra growing up was always exercise more, eat less, exercise more, eat less. And as I got into perimenopause and menopause, I just was gaining weight. I was doing more, but gaining weight. And it just always bothered me. But I always felt like I had to do more. So my mental game was more is better, more is better, more is better. And what I'm learning with this program is, obviously it's, very specific for my growth and my strength and all of those things, but it's not crazy like HIIT workouts every day, right? It's not like going to Orange Theory or CrossFit or all the things that I've done in the past. I even shared with Robbie one day or a picture of myself like training for, I did 10Ks, triathlons, 10 milers. And I have a picture of myself at the finish line. I was shocked when I found this picture because I was so overweight. I was probably 30 pounds more than I am now. I don't remember looking that way, but I remember what it felt like to exercise to get ready for that race. It was so painful. It was so painful. I starved myself. I endurance ran on the weekends that I was doing these crazy long runs, and it didn't pay off other than like when I would complete it, I'd stop. I got my goal achieved, just like when I played lacrosse. When the end of the season ended, boom, I stopped playing. I didn't play lacrosse till, the next season. When I reached a goal and did my triathlon training, reached a goal, I took a break. And this is like a lifestyle that I'm now doing. And it's a lifestyle that's changed me. Now I can share this with my clients. I keep going on and on. I had a mom who had severe osteoporosis from the time she was 62, had vertebral fractures. We watched her decline, and she was very active, and her issues were like complicated, but why she got to that point. But I use her as my North Star. It's like I want other women to know that you need to put stress on your bones and your muscles, and you need to work them, and you need to not be afraid to get those muscles, or even just to be fit, because that's going to keep you around for the people who care the most about you. So I'm very driven to stay with this program, because Robbie's and Fabricio and Patricia and is teaching me so much about health and wellness, but teaching me about myself. So less is more. Stop comparing, and choose a new identity. Like find who it is you are, and identify yourself with, you're now the healthy person. Like, that's what I say to myself. I have it on my laptop. It's like, I am that healthy person. I am the strong person. I am the one. So identifying yourself that way is worth every penny, every minute, every waking up and saying, I don't want to, all those things. It's all worth it. So thank you. I don't know if that answered any questions or thoughts, but that's how I got to where I am. And
That's awesome.
And removing those pains of exercise. My only pain of exercise is having enough time in the day. That's my own pain, but that's just me.
And you had a hip that clicked for years, right? And then with the program, it stopped clicking. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, and Dina's a functional medicine practitioner, so she has she's a physical therapist and has her master's degree in physical therapy, so she has quite the background as well. She's a very special VIP, and we have awesome conversations. So thank you. Much gratitude to you, Dina. Thank you for sharing. And next we have our VIP who would like to share, who's super elite. she's a veteran, she's like Superwoman. It's like our GI Jane, a VIP. Diane, welcome. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Well, when I was listening to Dina, I felt, oh, that's me in a lot of ways, because absolutely, my whole life has been fitness. I played a lot of sports, served in the military for 34 years, did a lot of, physical things. So now at 64 years old, my brain still wants to be 30. So I still want to do all those things at the same pace and whatever. And it just doesn't work that way. 4 joint replacements later, et cetera, et cetera. So I've done some things wrong. I don't have a lot of regrets about it, but my goal is now, quality of life. So, looking at this, the little exercise that we did today, oh my God, gosh, I definitely, it seems like my happiness is tied to exercise, health and fitness. And I think in some ways that's good. In some ways you can overdo something. So on the other end of that spectrum, the pain of exercise for me is the result of overdoing sometimes. And, the soreness, because I love to exercise, sometimes lack of sleep, just because I'm overdoing things. So now take that to the program that we're doing right now. And it's just been amazing for me. In all the aspects that people already mentioned, the community is amazing. I love coming to this class every day. Just the community is awesome. And then, you've got the right term. Optimization is exactly what this is. As I age, taking this to another level to enjoy life and enjoy the quality of life. And so that is absolutely what is happening. I am grateful every day for what I learned. You think that if you've done activities and exercise, and I've taught, many different types of courses through the military. And right now I'm coaching, I coach CrossFit, and I also coach a Parkinson's group. It's Parkinson's, it's boxing against Parkinson's. And But still, what I learn every day here is just amazing for myself, but probably even more so amazing because I can give that back to those that I work with. And it's crazy. I mean, I'm emotional about it because you guys are fantastic. So I'll leave it there.
Thank you so
You're
much, Diane.
making me emotional.
Yeah, Patty's over here crying. Thank you for sharing, Diane. We love you. Thank you for being part of our VIP family. Nancy, back to you.
So I'm getting all teary-eyed thanks to you, Diane. So I don't know if I'll be able to talk, but I feel like I've got to say a couple more things, even though I said a lot. So before this program started, I tended to really overdo my exercise. So I would go in streaks. I would decide to exercise, go gung-ho, way overdo it, get injured, and then have to quit, and then start again 6 months later. And I was in the cycle of doing that year after year after year. And so Robbie and his team have literally saved me from myself. I've seen some things in the chat today about how much exercise is enough or too much, and how many steps do I take? And those are brilliant questions, and ones I couldn't figure out. But they personalized this program so much so that what is right for me is not right for anybody else. And they take all the guesswork out of it, and they let me know what and how much I should be doing, so I get results, but I don't hurt myself. And it's a little slower than I'm used to, which is exactly what I need. And I haven't gotten re-injured from what I used to do myself. And when they call this a family, at first when they started to do that at the beginning of our VIP program, I thought that was a little cheesy. So I'm not a social media person. I thought, how can that really happen? And I didn't really believe that. They have won me over heads and tails. It's amazing how much we connect and how I feel the love and care. This isn't just a business where they're trying to get my time or my money or anything. They really care, and it's been fascinating to me how they can promote that online. And
honestly, if I could, it's actually been amazing to me that we've been able to do that as well. And I think the big thing is what ends up happening is, like, all of our amazing VIPs, all of our VIPs are amazing, number one, and listening to you guys share, it ends up in those of you who are on the meeting with us, the like-minded individuals will be like, that's cool, that, you know what, that's really different, that's a lot different than other training and fitness stuff that I've experienced. And we end up attracting more of those people, and then our VIP family grows with like-minded individuals. So it's actually impressed me. I would like to take the credit, but it's actually I thank God, thank the universe for bringing me amazing VIPs, which all of you are. So thank you to you. And would anybody who's not yet a VIP, anyone would like to share? I'm going to look at the chat right now and see if there's any questions here that I should be answering, as I've been engaged in conversation with our VIPs here. So Gigi says, explain the VIP program. Okay, we can do that. And then Pindy about how many steps, like what's the right amount of exercise. So let me start with what's the right amount of exercise, and then I'll talk briefly about the VIP program and also a little bit about the full body fix coming up. So so the best thing to do for your fitness is really you want to optimize the mechanics of your body. Okay, you really need to optimize the mechanics here. That's the number one thing. And the reason why it's so crucial, think of like a car, and like how the wheels have to be aligned and the positioning of the axles. And, you know, I'm a biomechanist, but not a car mechanic. But you get the point of like a machine that needs to be in line and has moving parts. And what happens when it's not in line? It causes excess stress, excess wear and tear, and then the machine breaks down. Your body's the same way. It's the same way. And that, you know, that's why shoulder issues, hip issues, back issues, because of basically misalignments, and the mechanical structure of the body's not optimally functioning. And, you know, by the time you're over 50, there's some stuff that's just not going to completely fix, but you can make it drastically better and you can get really fit. And the thing you have to do to get really fit over the age of 50 is you have to optimize the mechanics of your body so that you can do all the exercise in a way that you feel youthful doing it, right? Because then you can get all this stimulus from exercise. It's more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable mentally as well, because it's not as painful. It's not as stressful. So those are the things that's important. It's not so much whether you took 10,000 or 15,000 steps. I mean, those kind of things are also in balance of your nutrition. And most importantly, where are you at now? If you're at, you know, just for a crazy example, let's say we have an individual that's used to doing 2,000 steps. Should they do 10? Absolutely not. That'd be a great thing to overtrain just walking. So no, they should go to like 2,200, 2,300 on average for a week. Get used to that. Then go up another 10%, then go up another 10%, then back off, because you kept going up. You don't just keep going. You got to back off once in a while. You don't stop, you back off, let your body recover from those progressions, and then continue forward. That's the way you progress exercise. Of course, once you're really fit and you get to a certain point, what happens is this: if you want to keep pushing the fitness envelope really far and you want to see how maximally strong you can get in that type of thing, typically what happens is certain muscles will overcome others, because some muscles on your body are going to get stronger than others, and that will then create bigger weaknesses. So as you get away from optimizing the mechanics of your body and you go for performance, that's why most athletes that are high level when they're younger, they really pay the price when they're older. There's not many elite level athletes that once they're older, it happens. Of course it happens. Some people are just bio or body mechanics blessed, but usually they're pretty broken once they even just get to 50s, right? And it's not just because of contact, it's because of the wear and tear and stress in the body. Okay, so I think you understand like how to progress. It's about a progressional, unique system to you. And one of the things we do is give you an optimal physiological dosage, which is basically what is your zone of intensity for low intensity, moderate intensity, high intensity, right? One like Diane might have a high intensity of 85%, whereas another person might have a high intensity of 60 or 65%, a big difference, right? They're not going to push themselves as far because their body's not ready to do that and have a good result from that. So all of those things, everything I just said, we provide in our VIP program. So in our VIP Fitness Doctor, we call it kind of a long name, but Fitness Doctor VIP Mastermind, which is really, we're kind of changing the name now to VIP Family, most because of what I've learned from our VIPs. And we include all those things. We train our clients 4 times a week. They could come more if they wanted to. I don't necessarily suggest it, but Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we hold sessions. And now we're going to have multiple times a day, 6 a.m., 8 a.m. Mountain, and also 3 p.m. Mountain as well, after the full body fix. And what is this full body fix thing I keep talking about? Well, many of you already know what that is. Probably, I'm guessing upwards of 99% of you know what the full body fix is, but that starts February 12th. Again, we go head to toe or toe to head, because that's the way your body mechanics work. It doesn't start with your head, it starts with your big toe and aligns your body up from there. So we'll go through your full body in that event. And also another thing that's really great for you to know is I have something very special called it's all about you, which it's all about you. And that's a semi-private, so no more than 5 people in the session connecting with me. So just like we're in a meeting now, but it'd be 5 people or less. Oftentimes it is 1 or 2. And we'll go through your specific things that you'd like to achieve. You can ask me any questions that you have, and we connect on a much more private, smaller, intimate setting. That's called It's All About You. Patricia will post the link in the chat now. If you'd like to schedule that, you can schedule that, and I'll meet with you personally. And that's a way you can go even deeper and get even more personalized questions, again, in a much smaller setting. So highly suggest you do that. If you found what we talked about today interesting, propel you forward, and you want to improve your body mechanics, your fitness, your mindset, any of that stuff, you think that the VIP family might be a good choice for you, I'd love to talk with you. And let's see what else, the questions we might have. So
Raise your hand in the reaction box if you have a question.
yeah, we went to with our VIPs. I always give them, as part of our VIP family, of course, I always give in our full body fix coaching show, which is we do on most Saturdays, and that's what we're in right now. Oftentimes, today was pretty unique. Our VIPs shared a lot. I'm very heartwarmed by what they shared. I didn't know that they were going to share, and so it was really awesome. It meant a lot to me. But normally it's all content that we do on the Full Body Fix show. We have awesome health fitness topics, and we deliver a lot of value. And of course, I give my VIPs exclusive or almost exclusive first dibs on questions and answers in connection with our experts. And then once we do that, if we have time, then we go over to our audience that's not yet a VIP. So at this time, I want to turn the time over to anyone who's not yet a VIP. I would love to talk with you. If you have questions, if you would like to talk about anything at all that we've discussed in today's session, I'm here to connect with you. Anybody that has a question, feel free to go to the bottom of your Zoom bar, click or select that little emoticon smiley face with like a plus sign on the top. Once you do that, you'll see raise hand, and then just click on raise hand. I'll see your raised hand in your profile on Zoom, if in fact you'd like to speak with me or share anything in this meeting. So just give you an opportunity to do that before we close out today's session. Yes. Sherry, hello. I'll send you a little, it should be able to just trigger something you can click there to unmute. And let me know if I pronounce your name correctly. I see as Sherry.
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
But that's okay. I am so out of shape, like really stiff, really inflexible. I'm going to try this free program you've got coming up, and I guess I'll just have to see what it's all about before I make any sort of decision. Price is going to come into it as well too. I'm retired now, but I need to get stronger. I need to live these latter years of my life. I'm 66, healthily and happily, and I have a new grandson. He's 8 months old. I want to be able to play with him and
congratulations
with him and have fun being an Oma. And yeah, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do this. But like you said, 10% better is, or 10% is at least better than what I can do right now.
Cheryl, you brought up a great point. Can I talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
So, you mentioned that you're not used to and adapted to fitness right now. And then we have many people who have different joint issues. We have some people who are more fit, but have joint issues, or they're wanting to move forward. Everyone's in a different spot. And,
okay.
One of the questions that should come up for all of you is, well, how do you individualize the structure if it's kind of in a group training system online, right? Because that would be my question. And so sometimes knowing all the information as I do, I'll give you the good questions to ask. Like, how do you do that? Well, what we do is we're very selective. Actually, we spent 5 years in research on figuring out what are all the things that causes breakdown to the body, shoulder issue, back issue, hip issue, foot issue. And what we did is we developed this evaluation. And my team spent years running this evaluation and tracking all the data after the research that we did on what is the breakdown of people around the age of 50 and over that really causes mechanical issues. So after testing, we then developed our system, our exercise prescription, and we implemented it with all of our clients in person. And then we changed it and made it better. And then we implemented and tested. And we did that for that process over the last 10 years. And then what we did is about a year ago, we started our online system. I said, I don't want to help just people in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'd like to help people all over the world. So what we did is I took our best systems and then we teach these sessions online, and you work out with me. Not my workout, it's workout based optimizing your body mechanics. And so what we do is we go through that session. And now, well, what if you have specific issues you need to deal with? Well, we can meet with you privately also while you're in the group structure. And then we do have an orthopedic doctor or orthopedic specialist. And so clients who really need a deeper level, we'll start with some introductory reviews. And if you need to go deeper, we have a higher level program where you can, if you really need deep approach. But it's pretty rare that most clients need to go in that level of depth. But if you do, it's available. So we custom tailor every step of the way for you. And then we have this plethora of background that we've gone through to be able to design and choose our exercise structure. So it's not just like me sitting down on the weekend and going, oh, what would be a good exercise for these people? And we've actually tested it and tested it and tested it to see what will optimize the mechanics the best that can work within a group structure. So
I'm really looking forward to this, because when it was targeted for over 50, I thought, well, there's hope.
yeah. Oh yeah. 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 You know, the way I feel is people over the age of 50 are totally underserved in the fitness market. It's kind of like, you know, I think the fitness industry actually treats them as either they either try to like, oh, we're gonna go into our high intensity system, but be careful. It's either that or they think they're like geriatric, which they're not. So for me, it's how functional can I make you and help you and support you and care for you into that type of condition, and where can I take baby steps really comfortable and feel good in the beginning to eventually get you over here to where you're truly fit, right? And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I went to a physiotherapist who actually told me she couldn't help me, that my core was so weak and I was so weak that if I had a specific issue, she would work with me. But just to get me stronger, she said, I can't do it. Go home. That I went, what?
Well, we won't tell you that. I can promise you that. Yeah.
What a caring human, huh?
Yeah, we'll let someone else talk now, but I just am really excited and looking forward to your free sessions. And yeah, this should be good. I'm going to dive a little bit more on your Facebook group too. I just found it, and yeah, so that's amazing. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Cheryl. I look forward to connecting further.
Thank you.
Make it a great weekend. And Richard, hello, sir. Welcome.
Hi, I just wanted to follow up on that previous speaker talking about stiffness and inflammation, which is a major factor. I'm 75 this year, so it's has become a problem. And exercise is the only way out of that, I found. I've had a very sedentary lifestyle, working in an office all my life, apart from cycling to work every day, typically 7 or 8 miles. That stopped about 8 years ago, nearly 10 years ago, when I retired to Hawaii. I still cycle a bit, but it's very, very hilly here, so that's harder. But exercise is the only way I've found of dealing with inflammation. I can sit at my desk all day long. My feet will get quite swollen. I'll get on my bike and cycle for an hour, and the inflammation goes down. It's quite amazing. No supplement will do that for you. Exercise is the only thing I have found. The other thing I was going to mention, and I don't know whether you have recommendations on this, but nutrition, of course, is a key thing to go along with exercise. And yeah, and I don't want to mention things that I've been doing along those lines. I happen to be on a keto diet, which I found really important for my heart. I was going into heart failure a few years ago. Going on the keto diet fixed that, amazingly enough, because the heart works on fats, so does the brain. So the keto diet I have found is terrific. I also ought to come off red meats as much as I've been eating in the past. So there are things to do with nutrition that I think are extremely important, as well as an exercise program. So I just wanted to add those things.
Yes, absolutely. So are you, I'm sorry, just so I have clarity, you're asking me if we include and talk about those things and coach our clients through those things as well? Is that your question? Or okay.
Yeah, that's a question. Well, not necessarily coach people along those lines, but at least making people aware that they should take account and be aware. I mean, we are what we eat. So people should be aware of that and, act accordingly. And, you can end up like me going into the supermarket and you have to avoid nearly all of the aisles because it's all packaged stuff, which is not good for you. So shopping becomes a lot easier because you just go around the outside and, pick up the vegetables and things.
Produce section.
Yeah, produce. Yeah, right. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that as not that, I'd be expecting you to give advice on that, but there's a lot of good advice out there actually that's fairly easy to find. So
we do include that, by the way, in our program. I make it very simple. I believe that the nutrition world way overcomplicates nutrition, makes it very difficult. Everybody's saying different things, and then people either find it difficult, arduous. You have to eat multiple times a day, so it's something you're going to do multiple times every day. And if you have any level of complication or difficulty, most people are not going to follow it. And so my route to nutrition is, what's the healthiest nutrition strategy I could recommend you that's highly likely for you to be able to easily follow? That's the way I look at it. And so that's the way I coach nutrition. And I'll tell all of you right now, it's really simple. You want to keep your urine near light yellow to clear occasionally. Okay, light yellow to clear. So you're drinking enough water, because, was it 8 glasses? Well, we live in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, it's pretty dry here, right? Our summers get to like 120 degrees and, I don't know, I think the humidity is like 10% or something. So it's very, very dry, my water intake is going to need to be a lot higher than someone in, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with a lot more humid climate, or Florida. So light yellow to clear. That's the way you look at, am I staying well hydrated enough? So that's one item out of 4. Next item, your protein should be about, especially if you're exercising, which you should be exercising, should be a gram per pound of lean body mass. Okay, lean body mass, a gram per pound of lean body. Next, you should have 4 servings the size of your fist of vegetable every day. Next, you should have 4 servings of fruit. This is whole fruit. This isn't juiced and canned or anything. This is whole, high quality vegetable, 4 servings, size of your fist. Fruit, the size of your fist, 4 servings. So again, 4 things. Stay well hydrated, near clear in your urine, light yellow. You don't have to actually stay clear. 2 grams of protein per pound lean body mass. 3, 4 servings the size of your fist of vegetables. 4 servings fruit the size of your fist. You do that, you're going to get lots of micronutrients. You're going to get high protein. And you're going to stay well hydrated. Those are the most important things. I don't need to tell you that you should eat bread or you should have a glass of wine and this type of thing, because you're going to do that anyway. So what I learned after my first 15 years of doing personal nutrition coaching is all that stuff. If I give people 20 things to do, they'll pick the few that they like to do and they can do on a daily basis, and all the stuff I really want them to do, they don't do. So I simplified it over the years and found, okay, let me just give you what really matters. And if you do that at least 80-90% of the time, the 10 or 20 doesn't matter as much. So and then with the proteins, that's where you're going to get your fatty fish and this type of thing. So you're going to get your omega-3s, which are crucial for the brain health, immune system health as well. So,
okay, thanks.
Thank you, Richard. Look forward to seeing more of you.
Right.
And Carol, hello.
Hi. I wanted just to go over a few of my things in this chart to hear
Sure,
your
yeah.
reactions.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. The big thing in terms of pleasure of not exercising is that I really like sitting still. So,
Yeah.
I
do sometimes too, actually.
No, I like it a lot. No, I like it a lot.
Maybe
And
more than me.
going from sitting still to being in motion, that transition is where I get into difficulty. So if I have a trainer, I have at various times in my life had trainers. I haven't had for the last 4 years. I keep appointments, not that I like it particularly. If somebody talks to me while I'm exercising, that helps a lot. But even things like going from standing to getting down on a mat, I don't particularly like. So then when I look at, well, where is the pleasure in exercising? A lot of it has to do with, I have less guilt then because, I've intended to do something. I have intended to keep so far I've gotten away with a lot. I do walk. But I'm aware that I'm not always going to get away with it. I'm already getting quite old, and so I'm worried. But I'm less worried and about what's coming, and I have less guilt. Those are the those are the main pleasures. So it's not a lot to get me off the couch. That's my story. But it's the pleasure of sitting, I think, that and the difficulty of moving from one state to another that.
So what forms of exercise do you like?
Do I like?
Yeah, what form? Like anything. Could be dancing, could be.
Yeah, once I'm in it, then I like walking. Sometimes I like dancing. Yes, I'm also an actor, so I have a certain kind of kinetic work that I like doing. So I like, but will I go from the couch if I say, oh, that would be, I know that I like it when I'm in it, but will I get off the couch? Well, even to turn music on to do it. Forget about at a particular time any day. That's not going to happen. But it's how you move yourself from the couch. That's unless, an appointment. Yes.
For you,
I'm good at keeping appointments.
Yeah. For you, you're going to want to take your favorite physical activities and don't worry about any level of perfection and start moving more. And you do need to schedule it, right? And you need to, that's what I would suggest for you to do, and start moving a lot more. Don't try to worry about working out or any, like specific types of exercise. Just start moving more and do the things you enjoy, whatever it's, if you have a nice area to ride around your house, ride the bike, dance in the house, join a dancing class, schedule a dancing class to where you have to go right to it. You're paying money. And if you don't, you miss out on the money, set these things up, but set it up in a way that it's your favorite, right? Why? Because you're going to do it. And it's the easiest on-ramp. Now, once you start doing that, now physics, a body in motion tends to stay in motion.
Exactly.
You're going to process oxygen better. You're going to start producing endorphins better. You're going to get more connected with physical activity and exercise. Now, once you've done that, now you have a different organism. Now, once you have a different organism, now you can start playing around with putting the other things in, like strength training and stuff that you should actually do. And you're going to respond better to it and enjoy it more because you've increased your capacity and your physiology with those other areas of physical activity that actually connect with you mentally. Right. So that would be my strategy for you, is go there first and then work in the other thing. I'd love to tell you, hey, join the VIP, I'll send you messages and you'll come to session. But, for you, you just need to get your favorite physical activities and improve with that. And then you can increase the others. I think that would be the best thing for you. Okay. That'd be the most intelligent approach. So
yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice connecting with you, Carol. And I'm here for you. So if you have any question, come to the Full Body Fix coaching show, come to the Full Body Fix.
I will try to come to the next, that series. Yeah.
And when you're ready to take the next step, then I'm here for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Randa, you're back. Hello.
Well, at last somebody speaks who I can relate to.
Yes.
I would encourage you to give it a try, Carol, because I love sitting still and just watching the sun move across the shadow of I could sit for hours like that, and I love it. But I am sort of an all or nothing person, which maybe you are too. So going into this program, which is it's a big commitment, and I don't say that in a way like it to be daunting, but it's big in the sense that it really engages you in a lot of ways, and it is an appointment to keep every day, and a structure. Whereas I think I love a day with no structure and no appointments and no. I think I have been thriving on having some structure, particularly in this time. I live in a big city that during this COVID period has been very hard to find any kind of community or see friends or do anything. And this has really helped. And I saw all my hermit tendencies and laziness or whatever, and even though I had a trainer online, I had to do it a couple of times a week. It was nothing like this. This just tunes in on your body in ways that the personal trainer very rarely does if they don't have the skill. And also the way Robbie structures it, so he's watching you on video, they really give you very good corrections at the end of the session. So I would encourage you to give it a try. I got hooked on that 5-day thing. I thought, I'll just do that, and that'll be interesting. And I really wanted to join at the end of that. So give it a try. But I love what you said, because there's so many people in the group, who are real exercisers and love it. And for those of us who have a different kind of relationship to it, and being an actor, as you said, I think you'll find something here. Anyway, give those 5 days a chance. You might see that you think you can envision yourself in it.
And Carol, that's actually from. I don't know if everyone knows Randa Haynes by her name, but she is actually quite established. She actually was nominated. She did a movie that was nominated for an Oscar, correct, Randa? Yeah. So so it's from a very well accomplished movie director to as an actor. So it's a very good advisor for you.
No power.
Yeah, girl power. Yeah, and for those of you who are listening to all the ladies, we do have men in our group. In fact, we have men just like women in all different mindsets and connections with fitness, whether they're super gung-ho or not gung-ho, or they're wanting to fix the body, or they're wanting to get more in shape. We have elite level champion bodybuilders that are now looking to optimize the mechanics of their body and everything in between. So I just want to be clear on that. And then thank you, Randa. And back to you, or now to you, Larry. Hi, Larry. How are you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm from Montreal, so for me in the winter, it's mostly treadmill work and rowing machine. Stationary bike. In the summer or weather permitting, I go outside for a walk or a small run. I used to run half marathon, and I have osteoarthritis in both hips, so I stopped doing that, and I retired 5 years ago from the Navy and National Police Force after 34 years of service. Any idea as to what I should be doing?
Yes, absolutely. Great questions. Again, this comes back to how do we work with a group type setting and make it individualized? One of the things that we do is we analyze, well, actually we do two. There's really two big things, and there's many small things that stem from that. One big thing is your training with us is body mechanics optimized. It's all based on getting your hip in the right position in relationship to your knee and your foot and your pelvis and your lower back and your upper back, all these things, your body alignment. So we're really key in on that. And you're a human, just like the rest of the VIPs. So that part matches you individually, but then where you're off, we're going to see. So it was Randa that mentioned that we're in Zoom, we're training you. You'd be watching the session and working out with us. I'm not actually working out. I actually have the session pre-recorded. Now I get to clone myself. I'm actually watching, you're watching me work out. I'm watching you work out, and I have my team watching you work out, and we divide who we're focused on in the sessions. I record you, and then I'm coaching you through your body movement. So areas where you might not, I didn't realize, it's very common, our VIPs, when we send them, I didn't realize I was doing that. I don't realize sometimes I'm doing stuff in workouts. I really pay attention, use the mirror. Occasionally I'll record myself, but it's that motor control of your body mechanics, the way your nervous system deciding to stabilize has everything to do with the position, the muscle strengthening, and how mobile the other tissues are allowing your movement to go. That's crucial. So that's the way we keep that individualized, record you, coach you through it. The other thing we do is we have mobility assessments. So we do many mobility assessments from head to toe, and we actually measure where your mobility is restricted, which is really basically analyzing your body alignment. And then from that, we're actually up to the degree or inch, right? To the degree or inch, we're actually able to assess your body from toe to head and figure out where you have deficiencies in mobility, misalignments in your body. And then we give you a prescription system to improve all those areas. What does that do? How does that relate to your hip? Well, now with your hip has less stress because it has greater mobility. It doesn't have extra stresses and things that are being placed on it that then causes the degeneration, pain, stiffness, and that type of thing. So we're looking to decrease those things by using that system. And so, you kind of asked me, well, what would you suggest? And I'm giving you a very thorough answer, but I'm also not telling, well, exactly this, right? And it's really difficult to tell you, well, exactly this, because I don't yet know, how do you stabilize your body? Do you have 30 degrees of internal hip rotation or 10? Or, there's so many different questions. And in our system, we actually take you through all of that and then give you piece by piece, like the full answer. So it's yeah, that's how we work with that.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, my favorite athlete is from Montreal. Yeah, I don't know if you heard me. My favorite athlete is from Montreal.
Is it or she?
George St. Pierre.
Yeah. GSP. Yeah. He lives just down the road from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Saint Constant.
Oh, wow. Very cool. He or his parents live down the road from you?
Yeah, his parents.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Larry. I look forward to seeing more of you and seeing you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And back to you, Diane. Hello.
I just want to make a quick comment to Larry in that, I definitely had some joint issues coming into this. You said you were law enforcement. I was military, but a lot of wear and tear on my joints. And I actually also had a congenital abnormality that I was unaware of until I lost my hips in my 40s. So I had bilateral hip replacements. But I want to say that since doing this course, and it's been am I in my third month? But I got to say the optimization, what I have gone through in terms of body mechanics in my hips, just what we're doing is quite amazing. I have possibly more hip strength than I've had in a long time and no pain. So I think I can easily say I'm an example of what can be done, and I'm in my 60s. So, kind of take that all together and most definitely what these guys do in this course will help you. I have to say that because it's been amazing just in the short time that I've been doing this. And so it's definitely something to think about. Really target areas, really work on, you know, and it resonates with me, Robbie, when you were talking about being a car, and are you, you know, are the tires aligned and whatever. That is exactly what my issues have been over time. I think I've done a lot of these things. Oh, I'm doing this. Look at me, I'm lunging. But was I lunging correctly? No. You know, so revisiting everything and learning that nerve to muscle, you know, retraining my whole body basically is what's going on, and can't say enough good things about that. So I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I was Navy for 20 years and 14 years in the RCMP. So.
Thank you for sharing, Diane. Awesome. Very, very helpful. Anybody else who has any questions, anything they'd like to share before we close out today's meeting? Okay, well, it's been an awesome session. Remember, Full Body Fix on February 12th. It starts then. And if you'd like to schedule for an It's All About You session, which is exactly that. It's all about you in a semi-private session with me. Patricia has dropped the link below. And remember to revisit what we did in the exercise today. And as our VIPs, you have a whole article and the whole mental inventory dialogue that you can print out, like Nancy shared, where you can fill that in. So you can see that in your VIP dashboard. And I do wish much love to all of you. I wish you to make it a great weekend. Very much look forward to seeing you soon, seeing you either in sessions with us for our VIPs or for our audience members at the Full Body Fix. Much love to you. Make it an awesome day.
One more thing.
Oh,
One more thing. We have the Full Body Fix starting next week on February 12th. So if you're not scheduled for that yet, I will drop the link here in the chat. And one thing that we notice that is being a common occurrence, because the scheduling software is a little goofy, it's people are only scheduling one day, which is February 12th. But it is actually 5 days. So when you schedule it the first day, it's going to the next page and then the next page, all the way to the Facebook group. So when you arrive at the Facebook group, you know you're scheduled for the 5 days. It's all in the same page. And I put a little video on the main page that I dropped the link here. If you guys have any doubts, it was a little confusing, wasn't it? Was it, Robbie?
No, that was helpful. No, that's totally. When you schedule, so simply when you schedule, you'll need to schedule all 5 days.
There you go.
Yep. When you go in and you schedule the first day, that just gets you scheduled for the first day. You need to, it's really redundant, honestly, the way the tech system does it. We're looking for another solution. It's not our development. But you put a name, it's just a subcontracted tech that we use, but you put your name, your email, you pick your day and time and confirm. And then, okay, now for the second day, we're working on it, changing that, but you have to schedule each day to confirm your seat. So